You need to learn how to skate backwards on your first day. If you've been skating for more than one day and you can't skate backwards, you need to go back and learn it. Yes, it's true. Here are 3 reasons why fakie skating is so important, especially for beginners. Number 1, it teaches you how to stop. Practicing your backward skating will help you learn how to stop. Number 2, it is super essential to becoming a better skater. If you want to try grinds and tricks at skate parks or spots, you will need to be very proficient in skating backwards. Landing fakie on street-type tricks or obstacles gives you way more impact absorption than landing forwards. So not only does it look cool, it is actually easier to land like this in many situations. When carving a bowl or similar feature, being fakie, although more challenging, gives you a longer stance, which has its advantages. The stance becomes very similar to a skateboarder's stance. And number 3, it looks cool. Fakie skating is one of the first cool things a skater can do when they put on skates. You just got skates and you want to start doing cool stuff and impress people. People are like, oh, like what can you do? And you'll be like, oh, I can go backwards. People are going to be impressed by that. And number 4.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
We have to understand that every sport has its strengths and weaknesses. For example, skateboarders enjoy a wide, stable stance on their board, which allows them to carve transition and land impacts a little bit easier. Not being attached to their board serves as an advantage and disadvantage as it allows them to bail, but we've all seen how badly this can go the other way for them. Every vehicle that can go forwards can go backwards. It just so happens out of all the major action sports, BMX, skateboarding, scootering, and inline skating is by far the best for going backwards. Skating fakie can be a daunting task. However, if you make sure to start skating on a flat, smooth, and safe area, skating fakie will be no problem, even on your first day. You could start off in the grass. If you're not comfortable, you're going to want to make sure that your skates have enough support. That means doing up all of the ratchets and buckles and laces to be pretty tight. A general rule of thumb is that you want to have 2 fingers or less of space when you stick your finger into your skate. So you can just practice walking around the grass, and then after that, take it to the pavement. This is where skating on a flat surface is really important. You don't want to go on a hill or anything like that. So you want to just get comfortable moving around, changing directions, and slowly kind of shuffling around. Once you've gotten comfortable standing and moving around slightly, you're going to want to work on the swizzle. Swizzle is a name for this triangular push seen here. Start with your upper body engaged, arms down a bit into the front. Your knees should be bent slightly so that your back doesn't bend at all, and your feet should be shoulder width apart. Start with your heels together and push outwards to an apex and bring it all back to the start so that you can do it all over again. A lot of skating instructors will use chalk or an ice marker to draw a house or a lemon shape. Think of yourself as a painter drawing a house or a lemon on the ground with your skates. You will need to know where you are putting your feet every stride you take. The next thing you will want to do is to try this process in reverse, starting with your toes pointed together instead of your heels. It might seem scary, but if you've done consecutive swizzles, you've already done this before. Work on your regular and fakie swizzles more and try to do them independently 1 foot at a time, wiggling your foot kind of like this. Practice these 1-footed swizzles more and more and you're sure to get the push and glide stride seen here. Don't worry if your strides don't look great from the start, we just need to get some kind of consistent movement. The next essential move you can learn even on your first day is the spin stop. The spin stop is perfect for stopping in low speed controlled situations, transitioning from forwards to backwards, and practicing edge control in a practical way. You're going to notice that one way will be stronger for you to do this. Try both ways and see which feels more natural, and you can stick with it or try doing them both ways. Being an ambidextrous skater is important, but it is also possible to be a completely one-sided skater. Everyone is different. See what works for you. To do the spin stop, you're going to want to get moving with a small to moderate amount of speed. You're going to want to turn your back foot almost 90 degrees so it's facing backwards. If this movement seems scary, make sure you have a decent amount of mobility in your groin area. One tip if you're having a hard time is to rock your weight onto the front foot, that is, the foot that isn't turning, so your back foot can do its thing. The best way to use the spin stop is to do a U-turn by turning your back foot around once you complete an approximately 180-degree turn and continuing to skate. This helps for smaller areas, so that you can kind of create like a little circuit for yourself. The spin stop and a little bit of practice will lead you to the T-stop, which is the most effective and reliable way to stop in faster and more unpredictable situations. It wears out your wheels on the T-skate greatly and doesn't look nearly as cool as the Magic Slide or Hockey Stop, but it offers a moderate degree of stopping power while being able to maintain a narrow path. To do a T-stop, put most of your weight on the front foot, the foot that is staying forwards, and drag your other foot. If it helps, you can just start by dragging your toe. Try to practice T-stops to a complete stop and using a T-stop to slow down and continuing. Another helpful tip is that you should practice skating on one foot if you are having a hard time. Keep in mind that you can do a T-stop into a spin stop. You can also use the practice from these techniques to transition from forwards to backwards and vice versa. The spin stop is one of the best ways to transition from forwards to backwards. So along with spin stops, the next methods I would recommend are the toe and heel assisted 180s. Look at a regular 180 versus the assisted/pivoted method. When I pivot, it allows the transition to be smoother than a regular jump with less impact. You can also do this with one foot, which is cooler and will be certainly necessary at higher speeds. At the highest speeds, you will want to jump as you would catch an edge trying these grounded pivoting techniques. We are going to want to use the toe or the heel of the inside skate, that is the inside of the rotation. Going clockwise, forwards to backwards, I'm using my right front wheel to assist in this rotation. Next up is crossovers, forwards and backwards. To get started with the crossover, get your stride down solid and practice skating on one foot. Some people learn the backwards one first and other ones learn the forwards first. To do a crossover, you will need to go on one foot and swing your other foot over, making sure not to hit your skate with your rear wheel. Engage your outside edge as your foot passes over your other one and drop your other foot across. Shift your weight to the inside edge of the foot you just put down and pull your other foot out, repeating the process to your liking. To do a backwards crossover, perform a spin stop and keep it in a circle. Try turning your other foot so that you are going backwards, and you will see that in order to keep a tight circle, you will have to do a backwards crossover. A tip for the backwards crossover is to stagger your feet, turn your hips, chest, and shoulders, basically your whole body, so you can open up to the center of the circle. Once you drop your crossover foot, you can use a one-footed swizzle to move it out of the way, so your inside foot can move back to its starting position more smoothly. Don't worry if your crossovers aren't excellent on day one, but I believe crossovers, swizzles, and spin stops are the basis of a good foundation in skating, and backwards crossovers will help you look backwards while skating. The next thing you will want to work on is looking behind you as you ride backwards. The best way to look behind you while skating backwards is learning your fakie stance. Your fakie stance works kind of how your stance works on a skateboard and other sports. You may know about regular and goofy on a skateboard or snowboard, but did you know that these stances can be applied to pretty much every other sport, including inline skating? On a bike, everyone has their chocolate pedal or particular foot that goes in front more naturally. Personally, I ride with my right foot and back for every single sport: skateboarding, BMX, scootering, and inline skating. The way this translates to inline skating is in your fakie stance. For me, this even translates to the way I do my spin and T-stops. My right foot is always in the back. While not being a direct way to stop, I believe that skating fakie will increase your general skating proficiency and lead you to skills and techniques that will help you learn how to stop and be a great skater. At the end of the day, there are no rules on how you should learn how to skate, and how much you skate backwards is completely up to you. However, the most important thing that will help you become a better skater is time spent on skates. Skating fakie is super fun and will be sure to keep you on your skates. Moving on from this very basic lesson, much of the quote-unquote advanced backwards skating you will see is just fakie crossovers, one-footed swizzles, and good transitions in and out of backwards skating. If you can do all the things I showed you in this video, you will be well on your way to being a great skater. So there you have it. Why backwards skating is so important and how to go about it for the first time. If you enjoyed this video or it was helpful for you in any way, drop a thumbs up, subscribe. This is the start to my informational learning series on skating. So get out there and practice so that we can continue to learn how to skate together.